I had the most negative mind you can imagine, from anxiety to fear to insomnia, to waking up in the middle of the night being super anxious, to waking up in the morning not wanting to get up. It was horrible. And living this life that I live today, where I can wake up with positive thoughts and I'm grateful and happy and genuinely have a very, very positive outlook on myself and the world, this wasn't always the case. And back then, by the way, I was very successful already. It was not like I was at rock bottom and only then I had negative thoughts. No, I was making quite a good amount of money already. I was having quite a good life, you would say, right? You would look at me and be like, that guy is successful, but I had the most darkest thoughts you can't imagine, right? And I would always hear people say, you have to master your mind. The most successful people always said that the most important thing they did was working on their mind more than they worked on their body and on their business and on their relationships, right? They mastered their mind, they conquered their mind. And I was so intrigued because I understood, like, no matter what I'm gonna achieve in my life, if I have negative thoughts and I'm depressed and have anxiety, I'm never gonna live a great life. And I see many successful people who are financially rich and free having negative thoughts and they can't do anything about it. Right? So I needed to do something about it because I knew I meant to have a good life. God did not put me on this earth to have anxiety and fear and have insomnia. I actually should live a good life. So what I did first was I practiced radical positivity. And radical positivity is a concept where you basically take a thought that's negative and you just see it positive. You try to be positive all of the time. And this was the most exhausting thing I can ever describe I did. It was because imagine, like, that's actually scientifically proven, around 60 to 80% of all your thoughts are, most people, negative and recurring. And imagine you try to positive your state into being happy. It didn't work. It made my life absolutely worse, right? What I tried then, and I'm a big prayer guy. I used prayer for my entire life because I was growing up as a Christian. My mom would teach me how to pray and so on, even though I would not say it was the way that I believe today. People should pray and people should be and believe. But anyways, the point is this. I tried praying in affirmations, right? And I would ask God, please make my life better. Please, I want to be positive. Please, can you give me this and can you do this? And I did affirmations. I am so happy. I am so positive. I'm so grateful. And my life literally would always get worse. Like, it's actually crazy to think about this because imagine there's a person who really struggles and they do affirmations and they do all of that stuff that people out there preach and their life gets worse. And that's what happened to me. And I started to doubt every single thing there is about personal development, right? And my insomnia got worse, my anxiety got worse, my negative thoughts, my crippling anxiety, everything got worse. Until I stumbled upon a concept. Actually, before I stumbled upon this concept, it was so interesting because I was asking myself, okay, what does actually mastering your mind mean? What would a master, independently of the concept of the mind, now do? What is a master? And I realized a master commands other people, right? A master not only commands other people, a master also knows what's going on. And that's when I stumbled upon the principle of being the captain. So mastering your mind means being the captain of your mind. And it changed my life because it's so easy to understand and also to take action on. Because what does a captain do? All the principles I told you before that I tried, that many of you guys try, they have one big issue. You neglect what's negative. You try to push away what's negative and just instill positivity, right? Which doesn't work. It makes your life worse. Why? Because you literally amplify, or you realize, hey, you're actually not having what you want. Especially when you do affirmations and you don't feel like this is true. And the captain on a ship, what would you do? He would know what's going on first of all. He would know the problems. He would be very aware of what's not good enough yet, what needs to be changed. And that's what most people lack. Most people lack awareness of what is going on. Most people cannot identify the negative identities, the negative habits and patterns they have, right? There's a little voice inside of you, many voices that tell you negative things. And I realized a master would know these things. A master would be very good in noticing the negative little voice and what it's telling you. Okay, so that's the first step. That's the first thing a captain would do. And as a second step, he would command the team. He would command the mind. And when I learned about this system, this principle of commanding, it changed everything, because before I was asking and praying and hoping and please and doing affirmations where I felt I need to give away the power for something to come and rescue me, right? I see many Christians or even other believers, they give away their power. God did not want you to give away your power. Why did God give you an imagination? Why can you imagine things? Because you can create, and you do create your reality. Say 1,000 times you feel so bad, and congratulations, you will feel bad. Say 1,000 times your life is miserable, and congratulations, your life will be miserable, right? In the Bible, it says the word was first. So one of the biggest misconceptions I try to teach people is that people believe you first have to be positive. You first have to be a champion, and then you will speak like one. But that's not how it works. Every champion, they said long ago they became a champion, before they became a champion, that they're a champion, that they're gonna win, they're winners. So it says in the Bible the word was first, and one of the principles is to speak it into existence. But that's not enough. You have to command it. You have to understand, what does commanding mean? Commanding means that you have the power. Commanding means that you are the power that commands the change. And that's what a captain on a ship does. A captain on a ship doesn't ask the crew, hey, can you do this? Would you be so kind? No, do this and do this. And that's what I did with my mind. I identified what is going wrong, okay? I became very aware of my limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough because of this. I'm not good enough in this. And I commanded my mind to change, okay? And this literally changed my life. And the third thing that many people ignore, and that made me then not only change how I think, but also made me able to instill what I want to think and how I want to feel, was teaching. Mastering your mind means teaching your mind, right? Because all the negative things that came into your mind from your parents, from people in your school, when people bullied you, even yourself, when you tried something, you failed, and you proved to yourself you're not good enough yet, and you hurt yourself with bad habits. This is input, and this is teaching your mind something about life. And that a lot of times that means that life is negative, that life is painful, that you should suffer. But that's not why God put you on this earth to suffer. God put you on this earth to fulfill. Fulfillment is the key in life. So you have a desire, that is to be fit, that is to have the best relationship, that is to find real love, to be rich, whatever it is. And life is about fulfilling these desires. And if you think about it, the more fulfilled you are, the higher version you are, right? You are your most authentic self. And that means you are more like God. And I don't want to say that we are gods, but I think what God wants us the most is to become like in His own image, which is powerful. Very, very, very powerful. Not the guy asking, please, 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 but the guy commanding, and then also teaching the crew, which is your mind. So here are 3 simple steps I want to give you with this video. You have to sit still more often, because we live in a world where sitting still is so not normal anymore, right? We always run from one action to the other one, then do this and this appointment, this, the next appointment, the next meeting, this meeting. And if you don't have anything to do, what we do is we chill, right? We watch YouTube, we watch Netflix, we always occupy our mind. But what we need more is, and that changed my ability to see what's going on in my mind, in my crew, right? You need to sit still and just observe your thoughts, and try to literally, especially observe the thoughts that come over and over again. I'm not good enough. Okay, I'm always gonna be the guy with the big belly. I'm gonna fail. I'm always gonna end up with more debt. Whatever it is, that you're special. You have special and unique limiting beliefs. And the first step is to identify these limiting beliefs. And then command your mind to change. Tell your mind like a commander what you want it to change. This is what I don't want. This is what I want. Command it with power, not from a state of begging for it, right? From a state of commanding. You are the captain. And then number 3, teach your mind consistently. And that's what people who say they mastered their mind and it was the most important thing they've ever done, that's what they mean. They continuously teach their mind and fill their mind with positive and good things, with strong beliefs, with wins also. One of the easiest things for you to do to change how you feel is winning more and change how you think. Win more. Collect much more wins than losses. Because a lot of times your mind is negative because you collect more losses than you collect wins. You say you're gonna do this, but then you don't do it. Okay? And every single time you say you're gonna do something and you don't do it, you lose confidence and you become more negative. And it doesn't matter how rich you are, it doesn't matter who you are, you need to consistently fill your mind with wins and teach it. And I don't want to make this video too long, on how to teach your mind, because that's literally self-improvement. Self-development means you teach your mind, but it also means, in terms of mastering your mind, you have to know what's going on. Do you think a captain does not know what's going on his ship? It would be miserable, right? Imagine an open sea. When you don't know what's going on, what your crew is doing, which is your mind telling you negative things and limiting beliefs. If you don't know as a captain what's going on, of course your ship will go like this. Never to where you want to be. But then once you know what's going on and why you're going left and right and what is actually the problem, you can command what to do. You can command your mind what to think, what to believe, and what to do. But only if you also know what you don't want to be, feel, or think anymore. Okay? And if you watch this video now and you have a tendency to have a lot of fear, that is a great thing. You need to embrace it, because fear is something so unique for every person. You are afraid of things that I'm not afraid of. I'm afraid of things that you're not afraid of. And every single time you're afraid of something, you have fear, that's your mind, call it a higher spirit, whatever it is, telling you. That is the crew telling you, boss, we need to fix this. So if you are a true commander, you will notice what's going on and you will command the fix. But what most people do, what I did, is I tried to ignore it and install some positivity on it. It just made my life a ton more worse, okay? So do this and realize that you're much more powerful than many people admit, right? There is a power in you that allows you to command. You can create life. You have actually the ability to decide to kill 10 people or to help 10 people. You have so much free will. Start to act like that person who has given that free will, who has been given an imagination. Visualization is so important. One of the ways to teach your mind is to visualize. You need to change how you see yourself. By changing the story you tell yourself, by changing the pictures you allow your mind to see. That's why meditation, visualization is so important. Be the commander. Okay, that's what I want you to do. Be the commander. And if you're in a position where you have negative thoughts like I had, and anxiety and fear, and you wake up in the middle of the night, you wake up and you don't want to get up, then just realize it is normal. But it's not normal that you keep living this life, because now you see this video and I mastered my mind. I live my dream life in my 20s because I mastered my mind for a very long time. I didn't understand what that means. And I tried these things that didn't work, positivity and affirmations. And everything I did was to change this and become the master of my own mind. I realized what is going on. I became the captain on my own ship and I commanded my own mind, and then I taught it, and I will continue to teach my own mind just to get better and better and better, because there's always a higher version of you. And your job is to become a higher version as often as you can, for as long as you can, because that's gonna bring a lot of fulfillment.